Welcome to our weekly program, The Inside Story of Chabad in America through the Mindel Archives. This is the second program. Last week we spoke about Hey Tevis. Has to do with Sfarim. The historical background of Rabbi Mindel's shlichus, the trips that the Rebbe sent him to Russia. And this we're going to do maybe 3 or 4 programs on all the trips, what happened at the trips, and the shlichus that the Rabbi gave him. So today I will mention about the first trip that he went to Russia and the heroes. Now, as you know, here this is the pekel of Russia, all the trips that he wrote down notes. And that some things that Rebbe answered, this whole pekel, it's amazing, all the trips. We'll talk about it, I don't know, maybe next week or 2 weeks. But this is about the trip that he went to Russia, to bring back the manuscripts that the Frierdiker Rebbe left there. Now, I want to share with you a story that happened on that trip. This happened in 1958 or 59. The first trip, I think, that the Rebbe ever sent anybody. The Rebbe sent later on, years later, more people. But Rabbi Mindel was the first one that the Rebbe sent to Russia. It was a very dangerous time. It was during the communist regime. And the Chabad people, Anash, they had yeshivas underground, mikvahs underground. That if the KGB, Chas v'Sholem, catches them or knows that what they're doing, prison, there's worse than prison. So this is the time that the Rebbe sent a shlichus, Rabbi Mindel. The Rebbe told them exactly how to get dressed. We'll talk about it maybe another time. But I want to say a story now of that shlichus in 1958-59. He came as a tourist. In the tourist office, council, there was a girl. She found out, I don't know how she found out, everything was secret, that from the office, I guess, and even the office, how did they know? But they knew that a tourist is arriving in Russia, a person who is very close to the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Now remember, the word Lubavitch and the word Schneerson was treif in Russia. But a person who is close to the Rebbe is coming to Russia. How she knew, nobody knows. She was close to some Anash, also through secrets. It had to be hidden. So she somehow told one of Chabadnik, I don't know how she got a hold of him, and I think his name was Shmerel Prus. I think he was one of them. I'm not 100% sure. And she told him that the Rebbe's a mensch is coming as a tourist to Russia. Those days, they knew nothing from the Rebbe here. It was a very dangerous time. Be very careful. She doesn't know where he's staying. She does know, but she knows that he's arriving, and I think she told him what date. What should they do? They got together, the Anash, somehow. Underground. I don't know how they, but they were in touch with each other. How do we see this person? So they decided that there is a hotel place where tourists stay, more or less. I don't know how many hotels, maybe one. I'm not sure. We will try to see. They knew when he's coming, so we'll try to be around the hotel. They got a car, I don't know how they got a car. I mean, they couldn't. There was no. You can't rent like in America. There's no Avis. There's no Hertz. And a taxi, maybe a taxi, but I doubt it because the taxi driver is not supposed to know anything. So how can they get a taxi? But they got a car. I don't know how. I don't know what it was, whether a taxi or I don't know. And they 4 chassidim, and they went in front of the hotel. They thought that he was there, and they're waiting outside. Maybe he'll come out. They don't know how he looks like. Nobody had beards. Chas v'sholem to have a beard. So, but they try to, whoever walks out, they try to see. Maybe he looks like a different. And even that they had to wait in the car, and that's also a danger. But anyways, they did it. Mesiras nefesh. Anyways, Bekitzer, they saw him walk out, and they thought this was him because he looks, even though he didn't have a beard, but he looks different. He walked out, and he was walking. They followed him with the car. He walked maybe a block or two to a bus stop. They followed him. He was waiting by the bus stop. They stopped the car in front of the bus stop. One or two went out from the car. They blindfolded him, and they kidnapped him. They put him into the car. They grabbed him into the car. Now, Rabbi Mindel thought, he said Shema Yisrael. He thought this is he didn't know. This is that's it. I mean, those days they found out that he's from the Rebbe, and that's it. Now, this shlichus was that he's supposed to get some manuscripts. This was the shlichus from the Rebbe. But that's besides the point. And they put him in the car, and they drove. He didn't say a word. They didn't say a word. Maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours. Then they came into a place. They took him out. They all went out to a basement. Now, in America, when we say basement, we mean some basements have a chandelier. They look better in house. This was like a cellar. That was in Russia, a cellar mamish. They undid the blindfold. They undid it. He opened up his eyes. They sat down, a bottle of mashke, and they said, let's say l'chaim. And they told him who he didn't believe them. He thought because this is what the KGB does. They hide like they're chassidim, and they were talking to him. They said, my father is this, my mother is this. I mean, there were people that Rabbi Mindel would hear of. Those he did not believe them. I think he said there was 35 or 40 minutes sitting in the cellar, and they said l'chaim until he saw that these are take anash, these are take Chabadniks, and they want to know about the Rebbe. They want to know everything with the Rebbe. So he realized who they are, take, that they mean with an emes. They are take chassidim. So he said l'chaim with them. He told them about the Rebbe. He told them about the Istalkus of the Frierdiker Rebbe. They knew nothing. And he told them, what the Rebbe does. He told them what the Rebbe is, what's happening in 770, everything. And he happened to tell them that the Rebbe teaches a song, Simchas Torah. Those days, the Rebbe, Simchas Torah in the morning, teaches songs, 10 songs. Every year was a different song. I think the Rebbe started in 1950, 57, 56, 57. He started to sing the first song. And he explained to them that Simchas Torah, after HaKofes, the Rebbe comes out. He spoke maybe an hour. Every word he says, there was mamish. And so they said, please teach us the song. Tell us the song. And that's the song that he started to sing, and I'll sing the song maybe some people don't know the song. This is the song that he taught them. Darkecha Elokeinu leharich apecha l'roim v'latoivim v'hisehi losecha lemancha Elokeinu asay veloi lanu reyei ami doseinu dalim vereikim. And he sang this song over and over. They were crying the whole time. And they said again, teach us the song, Darkecha Elokeinu. And till he taught him the song, Darkecha Elokeinu. By them, this was a grace uftu. They knew something of the Rebbe, something. And then they couldn't walk out with him. So he went his way, whatever, it's not important now. In Mitzvah Hashem, next week, we will continue the next part of his trip. Thank you.